Sorry, baby. Mic check, 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 check.
And welcome to KSAT News Now, our bite-sized streaming newscast. It's Thursday, December 15th. It's the day after Hump Day. Me always loves it when I say Hump Day.
You know, because we're getting closer to the weekend, and it's actually, week's been flying by pretty fast. We were talking about how quick the year's already wrapping up for us.
Yeah, talking about who's going to be off for Christmas.
Yeah,
where you going to be,
what schedules, who's working what days. Ooh. And obviously, you're not RJ today, but you know, David Sears, RJ has a day off, so getting to have a chance to fill in on KNN, both of us today. So it's a good day.
It's a good day.
It's a good day here on
Fun
KNN.
Day, yeah. And we're winding the year down. We were just talking about how hot it was just a couple days.
Yeah, that copy and paste forecast that we experienced for a few months throughout the summer, the 90s.
And now it's getting cold. It was like in the 30s today.
Oh, yeah. It was great this morning.
People
what a
freaking out like it's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's December.
Yeah, and you know, we're going to hear from meteorologist Mia Montgomery on this forecast and what we can expect, but we know there's obviously a lot of news to still get to.
Today we're going to be talking about the San Antonio housing market and how it's changed the last year. Plus, locals are pretty set on what should be the future of the horse-drawn carriages that you see downtown. Those have been there for a while.
And it's been a big topic of conversation, so we're going to get more to that on that proposal as well. Hey, and plus free COVID tests are coming back with more places seeing a rise in cases this time of year. But first, this is one of the most trending stories, the loss of DJ Twitch, whose real name was Stephen Boss, which we brought you that breaking news right here yesterday. Yeah,
we since learned that he took his own life at a hotel nearby his home. He was only 40 years old, and reaction has begun pouring in following that news.
Yeah, Twitch was best known as a DJ for the Ellen DeGeneres show. She tweeted saying, quote, "I'm heartbroken. Twitch was pure love and light. He was my family, and I loved him with all of my heart. I will miss him. Please send your love and support to Allison and his beautiful children, Wesley Maddox and Zaya." And he was also well known in the dance world. Justin Timberlake said, quote, "I've known Twitch for over 20 years through the dance community. He always lit up everything. You just never know what someone is really going through."
Many people pointing to the importance of mental health. People like Bernice Kings saying, "Sometimes joy bringers carry unforeseen heavy burdens." And comedian Wanda Sykes reiterating, if you are struggling or in a crisis, call or text 988. Help is available, and I think that's the key. And hopefully that can be a lesson learned from this tragedy, that there is help out there, and it's not that hard to get that help.
You know what I found pretty amazing is that through a lot of these tweets, everyone remembered him for his love and his light, and they said that he had such an immense talent. But it goes to show you really don't know what people are going through behind closed doors, and unfortunately, you know, this is a sad end to his story. But you see the love and support he continues to receive from his colleagues and everyone, fans across the country and world.
And that's why I think family and friends have to pay attention, because like you said, you don't know what's going on in the other part of his life, but there's, you know, you would hope that there would have been some signs somewhere and somebody could have noticed something a little bit, you know, strange, a little bit different, maybe he's acting a little different.
Such a devastating
But to be able to hide it to where nobody knew anything, and then you know, do it the way he did. That's at this time of year. I mean, it's not good any time of year, but around the holidays,
heavy hearts for his family and friends, and so, you know, prayers go out to them. But obviously, you know, with the year winding down, we know that a lot of folks are probably going to be traveling for the holidays, and unfortunately, it's beginning to look a lot like 2020. The White House is rolling out plans to continue combating, the COVID-19 as cases have surged in recent months.
Here we go again. Thanksgiving, the number of new cases have gone up across the country, and once again here in Bexar County, now the government is bringing back free at-home tests. Starting today, you can sign up to get your 4 free tests on covidtest.gov.
Yeah, we know those come in handy. 3 months ago, President Biden stopped this program due to funding. Now, He's also got PPE on standby for hospitals that might get overwhelmed throughout the holidays.
Experts expect more cases in the coming weeks as more people gather for Christmas and New Year's festivities.
Yeah,
And I was looking up, hang on, let me see if I can do it real quick while you're kind of talking about it. I was going to look up the COVID dashboard. I had it on my computer.
You know, that's
earlier.
Something, while you're looking for that COVID dashboard was something that we checked regularly every single day on the news and trying to update people. So it seemed like it had quieted down, but now it looks like this information is that you're always going to want to have this information, especially ahead of the holidays and your travel plans. So that COVID-19 dashboard will let you know where we're at in Bexar County. So we're gonna.
I don't know how I got the New York Times one. But,
yeah, there's a lot of information out there, and again, as you look for that information, I think one of the other things is a lot of people are going to be traveling. So that information is important to know, and to have those tests again at home is really convenient. I used one of them a few months back, so obviously helpful.
This is not what I'm looking for either. And I know that that there have been some states, I think Washington and Oregon and even New York State, we're talking about bringing masks back, and there's already advisories going out to say people should start wearing masks when they're in indoor crowded areas, like if you're going to a basketball game or whatever. So they're already talking about bringing that back, and all I can say to you for that is good luck.
Yeah, have you seen at the grocery store a lot more people are wearing masks these days, and it's something I've spotted a little bit more at the grocery store, at the mall, as people are getting the holiday shopping.
This does not look like the COVID.
Well, we're going to find that information.
What is going on?
We'll find it. We'll find it for you. I'm sure. It's
they have that. They have it on the website somewhere, but that doesn't look like the one I've been looking at for like the last 2.5 years.
We'll continue that search, but in the meantime, we'll move along temporarily to the real estate market, because it's experienced some ups and downs over the last few years, and now a new graphic points to a dramatic change here in San Antonio and across Bexar County.
That data shows a significant drop in home sales in Bexar County for 2022, and the number of new listings also took a big hit toward the second half of the year. However, the median home listing reached a peak in the middle of the year before falling back down in the fall. The amount of renters pay all properties also saw a mid-year spike before skyrocketing in the fall. So this looks like one of those things that just goes up and down.
It's all over the place, right? Yeah, that data was collected from sites such as Zillow, RentHub, and Redfin. Now, that information actually is gathered using public property records, tax records, recent home sales in the area, and of course, user-submitted information. And this is something that we talked about earlier during GMSA, because along with those graphics, we also know that other statistics show that a home buyer needs to have earned more than $87,000 a year to afford a typical home here in San Antonio. So that's a pretty penny.
Well, and part of the problem is the interest rates are going up. Matter of fact, it went up another 0.5 point yesterday, and mortgage rates follow some of the interest rates that go up. So the mortgage rates I think they're above 7 now in a lot of different areas. If you can find something below 7, you're in pretty good shape. So that's causing people to not buy houses right now, just keep that money in their wallet, and hopefully things will get better here in 2023, but that's not helping.
I hope so. I mean, it has been hot and cold, and I think a lot of people have made that move also to the Alamo City or to Texas in general because of the housing market. So to see that there's all these changes that are happening, I don't know if that's going to, obviously scare some people away from our housing market here, but I know probably better than most places around the country than where we would see a lot of these ups and down trends around the country.
All right, I'm not a lot of things, but I am persistent.
Persistent is a good thing.
I found it.
You found it. Let's get an update.
According to the data, what is the dashboard for Bexar County, there are 317 new cases of COVID. There are 11 patients on ventilators. There are 25 patients in the ICU, and there are 161 patients in hospitals around Bexar County. So remember when those numbers were like in the thousands?
Yeah.
So, we're still in pretty good shape if you ask me. But,
better shape than
I remember
we were 2
looking
years
one
ago.
day in I guess it was in the fall, early fall, and that number was below 100. If I think the number of cases in San Antonio, so now it's
be
above
people
300.
traveling for the holidays too. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint why we're seeing that increase, but it's definitely the holidays, and I feel we see trends like this when people are traveling, and I know that the White House has also reiterated, they really want people to get their booster before traveling, but we're just gonna have to wait and see what these numbers look like after the holidays as more people are expected to travel.
And of course, those numbers don't reflect people doing the home tests.
Right.
So if you go to the
Right, the county or one of those,
pharmacy and pick up one of those kits and go home and test,
very different,
and you don't report it to anybody, then so it could actually be a little bit higher.
Yeah.
But protect yourself the way you feel like you need to protect yourself, and we'll get through the winter.
Hey, good stuff, David, and thanks for looking for that information.
Giving up on that.
Don't give up.
Hey, a proposal to ban horse-drawn carriages in San Antonio gaining some support.
This is a big topic. Last month, council members Jalen McKean Rodriguez of District 2 and Phyllis Villagrán of District 3 submitted a council consideration request to ban horse-drawn carriages downtown, calling out the, quote, inhumane treatment of animals.
KSAT asked readers for their opinion on the proposal. Over 3,000 readers across the nation weighed in. Results from the poll showed that 52% of people believe the horse-drawn carriages should be banned. 48% disagree. Data from the poll takers who live in the San Antonio area shows 57% of people also support the proposal, while 43 say no.
Yeah, now that CCR also calls out phasing the horse-drawn carriages. Now, this would prohibit the use of horses with carriage riders by the end of next year. However, it would also establish a program to support the carriage drivers in the transition to electric carriages and pedicabs. Now, I was just downtown over the weekend. I went to go see the Riverwalk lights, and there's plenty of these carriages that are still obviously a big attraction for tourists. I remember when I would come to San Antonio as a kid, it was one of the things that you always enjoy seeing. But obviously, as the years have changed, people have noticed different things, or they want to see some certain changes in when it comes to these particular types of attractions.
The people that own these carriages and own the horses will tell you that they take great care of these animals, and they've been doing it since the 1980s in downtown San Antonio.
I have a long time.
They'll tell you that it's great, and that a lot of times when it gets to a certain temperature, they won't take the horses out onto the carriages, and we saw that this summer.
Right,
how hot it got.
Yeah, exactly.
The people on the other side tell you that it's inhumane because they're going down the street in the traffic and they're breathing all the fumes.
It's also they've said it also leads to some congestion, but we know that there's also some other council members like Anna Sandoval, Manny Pelaez. They have also shown that support of this CCR. They want to see this change. So obviously, if that change does happen, you wonder what changes that bring to the tourists coming into the Alamo City, because again, it's one of those romantic carriage rides. People love to do their proposals out there, so it's not an easy decision that they'll have to make on this, but definitely a controversial one.
I was kind of surprised at the difference between the national poll and the local poll. The national poll was 52 and the local poll was 57.
Yeah.
I almost think that would be reversed. But
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that.
Do you remember those?
I do. It's kind of same as you coming to San Antonio. If we were going to go eat on the Riverwalk or we were going downtown, I always just remember seeing the horse-drawn carriages. That was kind of like a staple of what I would expect to see kind of roaming the streets.
Fond
so that's
memories,
interesting.
And we'll see what happens.
We'll see where we go from there. Absolutely. All right, guys. Good morning.
Thanks
This is why I love doing Canaan when the weather people walk over, because they always got some really deep thought.
I feel like this is something that we've talked about a lot with David Sears. We always have to have a really good trivia question when he's here on KNN. So yes, here's today's. The official low this morning at San Antonio International was 36 degrees. When was the last time that we saw a morning low here in town at least that cold? So our four choices today: March 13th, April 2nd, November 15th, or just 14 days ago, December 1st. What do we think?
I'm going to say A.
You're going to say A? Okay, Steven was ready.
I'm going to say A.
What about you, David Sears?
I'm trying to remember, because we had that cold spell back in November. And I'm just going to go with November 15th. I think it got really cold.
You know what? I was right.
Okay, so you were not far off, though. We got down to 38 degrees.
What do you want to bet it was 36 at my house?
Oh, I bet it was probably a little bit colder than that, too.
You didn't.
But I did say officially.
You said at the international airport. You didn't say it in my house.
Which is where we climatologically keep our official data here in town, is at San Antonio International. So there you go. But yes, at David Sears' house, it probably was a little bit colder.
I need to get
I have to admit something, though, really quick here.
Okay.
I'm going to admit this. I may or may not have heard you talking to Justin Horn about this.
Oh,
and I didn't know if it was the same thing.
Called himself out.
I said
Fun
may or
fact,
may not,
Steven
but
sits right
I
next
have
to
I have
us
a I
in
have
the
a guilty
newsroom.
conscience because I sit right next to Mia.
So maybe your subconscious picked it up.
Maybe, but I didn't know this was going to be the
Maybe he
trivia
just knew.
question. So I just, I don't cheat. Kids.
Probably so, because
Cheating
yes,
is not
we were
okay.
talking about how that was 277 days ago.
I
That's
just
pretty
can't take
crazy.
the credit.
You know, it's not really
If it makes
cheating
you
if
feel
they're over
better.
there talking real loud about
Oh,
it.
you know,
can't
hey,
help but
David.
hear what's
Yeah,
going on. I mean,
we were
you guys are like right
discussing
next to
it
each other.
earlier.
Yes,
So
I
maybe
thought I
you
had-
should like not discuss it.
Or maybe yeah, my headphones were on, so was I
Next time I'm just
listening?
gonna walk over to Justin's desk and tell him a secret or something. We will say it in front of Stephen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so March 13th, we were at least that cold. We actually got down to 28 degrees that day. So it was cold. But yes, it was cold in November when we had that cold snap move in as well. All right, taking a look at lows across the area, while we did not hit that freezing mark officially here in San Antonio, at least at the airport, some portions of Bexar County, especially across the northern reaches of the county, did see those temperatures fall to or just below the freezing mark. It was 32 in Hondo, Uvalde, Eagle Pass, and Carrizo Springs earlier this morning. Parts of the hill country, 28 in Kerrville, it was 27 in Comfort to kick off the morning as well. That was all thanks to clear skies, of course, cooler air that is filtered in, and drier air. Dew points in the 20s here this Thursday morning. Plenty of sunshine and blue skies out there. So because of that, those temperatures are going to be able to warm pretty efficiently into the afternoon as well. Overall, it's going to be an absolutely beautiful day here across South Central Texas. Mid-50s right now in San Antonio. We will continue that warming trend into the afternoon. We've got a forecast high around 67 officially here in town. Winds a lot calmer than what we saw out there yesterday as well. Clear skies take us through any evening plans with those temperatures dropping off into the 50s. Maybe not quite as cold kicking off tomorrow morning. Still chilly. You will want the jacket stepping out for the morning commute in the low 40s here in San Antonio. Enjoy the sunshine today because the cloud cover looks to increase throughout the day tomorrow. Maybe a stray sprinkle or two tomorrow evening as we see another cold front move in. This is a reinforcing push of some of that colder air, and you can see what that's going to do to our weekend forecast. It's just going to be colder than average here as we head into our Saturday and our Sunday. We'll start off in the 30s and low 40s, and then temperatures in the low 50s. So overall, jacket weather, especially in the mornings over the next several days. We'll warm to about 60 tomorrow, but looking ahead to next week as well, it is looking like those below average temperatures are going to stick with us in the days leading up to the Christmas holiday too.
Feels more like December.
It does,
Yeah,
and that's kind of
Christmas,
nice for those that like that festive feel,
Yeah.
because last week it was just gross. It
Yeah,
was foggy and
completely.
humid
Yeah,
and
so
cloudy
nasty.
and warm.
Yeah.
So it's a nice change of pace.
What
I'd
was that
say.
word you used last week? You used a fancy weather word.
Sloshy.
Sloshy.
We were
Sloshy.
talking about the humidity kind of sloshing in and out, and then
That's a good way to put
David
it.
didn't really like that. We talked
didn't like
about it for
sloshy?
about
Yeah.
5 minutes on the news at noon.
It's all right.
It was okay.
It's
Well, I was
sloshy.
concerned about how to spell it.
Well, we weren't talking. That's true.
You know, I am a spelling bee expert.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Sloshy. We know it starts with an S.
We do.
At least. Yeah,
Huh?
but
What did Alyssa say? What did you say?
all right, but you know what though? Well, thank you for the forecast and
Of
the
course.
wonderful cooler weather that we are
Yes.
experiencing.
Going to be great.
We'll take advantage
No
of it.
sloshy over the next few days.
Well,
Like
guess
that.
what?
This is going to make some people mad. I mean, this is disappointing.
Yeah, San Antonio was recently named one of the best places to find Christmas lights, but get this, David. Now it's being named one of the grinchiest cities
What?
in the country. What? Exactly.
The website Finance Buzz. Who are these people that have these websites that come up with this stuff? They
Yeah.
looked at a couple of different factors to find the grinchiest cities, like many or how often people donate or participate in charitable events. Well, we know people donate was because we were just the best
Yeah.
No Shave November
are, I
group
think.
in the country.
Yeah, and this is
And
what
they're-
earned this the number 3 spot.
Yeah, we've got people out ringing the bell for the Salvation Army, and people are donating. I don't know who are these people?
Well, only
Who did this
24% of residents say they volunteer according to this site, and they also measure the amount of stores and businesses that decorate for the holidays. This earned New York the number 1 spot.
Okay,
So,
well, yeah.
okay. Well, all
Go with
right.
that.
As well as holiday activities and festivals, which San Antonio also came in on the lower end of. I definitely don't think we're the grinchiest city in the country. I definitely think we're probably one of the most festive. That's just my bias.
They may decorate storefronts in New York we light the Riverwalk and have a parade for crying out loud.
Oh, yeah,
what do they
great.
do?
Yeah.
Do they have a parade in New York for just a light the river,
but you know,
light
also,
the downtown of
we
New
have
York
an
and have a big
amazing
parade?
community where people have donated, opened their hearts, their pocketbooks. We see that with No Shave November. We see it with you know, these wonderful Salvation Army Red Kettle drives.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, be sure to also donate whenever you can. Hey, open your heart up this holiday season, and we are thankful for the community that we live in.
You know, when you see this stuff, we just tell you so you'll know that that's out there. So, so when your friends and neighbors who don't live in San Antonio go, hey, y'all are terrible. No, we're not. We are one of the best.
Go see the Riverwalk.
Of any city in this country.
Yes.
So don't let that discourage you.
Not at all. But you know what? We'll be back here tomorrow and feeling festive tomorrow at 11. So I guess, David, we'll see you then.
That's it. All right, bro show done.